live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana and on DSTV as channel 279. My name is George Queen. Top of the stories this hour. 141 suspects arrested for alleged involvement in criminal activities, including mobile money fraud and business email compromise. Executive Director of Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa, says their latest survey shows that the upcoming presidential primaries of the New Patriotic Party will be closer than what happened in 2023. Also coming up this afternoon, Chief Executive Officer of Ghana Gold Board, Sami Jemfi, dismissed claims of operational losses. My name is George Quinn. You have details of these and many more coming up in the next 60 minutes if you spend your time with me. You can also get interactive with us. We're live on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Let's begin from here. The Cybersecurity Authority Ghana, in collaboration with the Ghana Police Service, National Security and the Ghana Immigration Service, conducted a coordinated early morning operation targeting organized cybercrime network involved in mobile money fraud and business email compromise scams. The intelligence-led operation was carried out across key locations in Tabora and Lashibi. During the operation, 100 suspects were arrested in Tabora, while 41 suspects were apprehended in Lashibi. Preliminary investigations indicate that the suspects are believed to be Nigerian nationals. Law enforcement agencies also recovered 38 laptops and 150 mobile phones suspected to have been used in the commission of cyber-enabled financial crimes. The team also arrested the Ghanaian landlord who accommodated 100 of the suspects in his house. The suspects are alleged to have been involved in several criminal activities, including mobile money fraud, romance scams, sextortion, and wire fraud. Forensic analysis of the seized devices are underway, and individuals found to be culpable will be processed in accordance with the Ghanaian law. Well, let's listen on this very development and engage my colleague Stanley Blow, who is currently at the CID headquarters and joins us with more updates. Stanley, what more can you report on this very developing story?
Yeah, so George Queenan, I must also say that out of the figure that you just mentioned, the 141 suspects that were actually apprehended early this morning or at dawn of this today, one of them is a Ghanaian landlord who had actually rented out his apartment to the Nigerian suspect, and in that apartment there were hundreds of the Nigerian. That apartment is actually housing hundreds of the suspects, and the shocking aspect is that the landlord is also living on the same premises. They are still the same compound at the Tabora residence, and so this raises a lot of questions. So as I speak, the 141 Nigerian suspect that were actually apprehended this morning. The landlord's case is being treated differently because he's been isolated and he's been kept at the National Investigations Bureau or National Security. And then the other 141 individuals, other 140 suspects were brought in to the police CID headquarters for parading. Immediately after the press conference ended, they have been whisked away to a holding center at Pram, where subsequent investigations are to follow. But I must also say that out of these people, 140 Nigerian suspects that have been actually arrested for various infractions or various cyber crimes that they have actually committed or they've been committing in this country, they are also undocumented, which means that they came into the country through inappropriate means or through illegal routes into the country. And so they are going to be profiled and then they will also face prosecution. So I then asked the officers that actually embarked on the operation to get them arrested that actually were they going to be repatriated immediately or they are going to face prosecution, and then after they had finished serving their sentences, they would then be repatriated. But the response I got from them indicates that This is a preliminary stage, and so they are going to proceed with their investigation, profile them individually, and then also ensure that if they are found culpable, they are made to face the full record of the law.
Stanley, we have the sector minister with us. Just hold on, I'll come back to you. So, Sam George is the Minister of Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation. Good afternoon, Sam. Thanks for joining us. And somewhere last week, some Nigerian nationals were also apprehended somewhere in Kaso. How concerned are you that these suspects are Nigerian nationals?
Well, good afternoon and compliments of the season to you and your viewers. Well, it appears as though it's Nigerian nationals, but over the last 10 months that I've been a host in the ministry with Divine Selassie Agbuti at the Cybersecurity Authority, today's operation will bring to almost 1,000 the number of people we've arrested from the different nationalities. Some have been Chinese, but largely Nigerian, who have been involved in different kinds of cyber-based crime, whether it is mobile money fraud or business email compromises, wire fraud, extortion, romance scams. And some of them, they've actually been pure outright kidnapping, where people have been lured into the country and kept against their will and compelled to take part in this kind of fraud. Well, cybercrime is cybercrime, and Ghana is welcoming to all foreign visitors so long as they are here to either vacation, holiday, or engage in legitimate business. The moment you cross the line with the law, we will deal with you and deal with you decisively. Ghana is not going to trade our national reputation for fraudsters.
This is a landlord who accommodated some 100 of these suspects. So there was some sort of facilitation. So what measures are being taken to ensure that landlords and other individuals do not facilitate cybercrime activities in Ghana?
So we've been arresting the people who, based on intelligence-led operations, we identify as being engaged in cybercrime. But in today's operation, we moved it up to the next level. We arrested the landlord in whose premises 100 people. You cannot tell me by any stretch of the imagination that you have 100 people living in your premises and you are not concerned what job they do. They hardly step out of their apartments. They are there all day. Landlords have a sense and a duty, a civic responsibility as Ghanaians. So if you're a Ghanaian and you allow foreigners to come and carry out fraud in your premises, you should go and read the Cyber Security Authority Act, the CSA Act, at 1038. If your premises is used in carrying out fraud, you are equally liable for aiding and assisting, and that's why we picked up the Ghanaian landlord. And this is a message to every Ghanaian landlord. Okay. Be careful who you are renting your apartments to, and make sure that your premises are not being used in the perpetration of crime, else we will pick you up as an accessory to crime.
Okay. Honorable, so before you part company, how does the government plan to educate the public on cybersecurity awareness and prevent similar incidents in the near future?
Well, using your platform, in October was our National Cybersecurity Awareness Month, the NACSA month, and October is the National Cybersecurity Awareness Month every year. We carried out over 252 media engagements and community or physical engagements in senior high schools and secondary schools. We've stepped up work with our partner agencies and sister agencies under the ministry, the Data Protection Commission, the National Communication Authority. We have the telecom companies actively running public awareness campaigns on Momo fraud especially. And so we are going to continue this engagement and using some of these platforms. And that's why earlier on in the year, we're picking up the people, but we weren't talking about them. But now we've decided to let the public know what's going on. Okay. And we'll prosecute them. And you see, let me just say that this is part of the work we're trying to do with the amendments to the laws. I see a lot of people asking, how's the prosecution going to happen? Some of these crimes are technical in nature, and you need to have prosecutors who have technical expertise and knowledge to be able to build the requisite case before a competent court of jurisdiction to secure the requisite conviction. Our police service has fantastic prosecutors, but not all of them have technical capacity. You've got technical capacity within the Cybersecurity Authority, and that's why in the amendments we're looking to get a fiat from the Attorney General's office to allow us do the prosecutions ourselves. In fact, we're grateful to the Chief Justice. The Chief Justice has already designated specific high courts for us right now to deal with cyber crimes. And so we're going to have expeditious trials, but we're even trying to get even circuit courts as well in every region that will deal with cyber crimes. Because look, if you just need to look at the amount of intelligence we're getting. There is a proliferation of foreign nationals in almost every region of our country. In Aflao, they are there. In Swedru, they are there. In the western region, they are there. They are there in the north, Koforidia. We will rid the country of every foreigner who has come in to damage our national or international reputation. If you're here to do legitimate business, you're welcome. We'll welcome you and we'll protect your business.
Okay.
But if you're here to tarnish our hard-earned reputation, we will come after you. The laws of Ghana work.
Okay, so thank you for your time. Honorable Sound George is the Minister for Communications, Digital Technology and Innovations. Let's just wrap up with my colleague Stanley Blow. Stanley, what more can you tell us before you pass company with us?
Just as the second minister indicated that this number is going to add up to the already existing. I mean, they've arrested close to 100 of these cybersecurity suspects, and so for the agents or personnel that actually embarked on this exercise, for them, they are going to sustain this operation, and they are going to, when they are done with Accra, they are going to escalate it to the other regions of the country. So wherever cybercrime is taking place, they are ready to invade and to effect arrest. Okay.
Thank you so much for your time. Stanley Blew is our correspondent, giving us updates on the fact that some 141 suspects have been arrested in different swopes in Lashibi and Tabora. 141. We'll bring you more updates on this very development if you trust us here on TV3. And the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Gold Board, Sami Jemfi, has dismissed claims of operational losses. According to him, Gold Board has not made losses, but rather surpluses. He spoke on the key points. Take a listen.
The impression is being created by some, not your panelists per se, but by some, as though the Gold Board has made losses and is shying away from acknowledging that it has made losses. Alfred, the Gold Board is not a typical commercial venture established for the main purpose of making profits. The Gold Board is a strategic corporation with two objects: foreign exchange generation for the country and supporting gold reserve accumulation by the Bank of Ghana. And that is why, if you look at the Gold Board Act, nowhere in the Act is the word profit used, rather the word surplus is used. We are mandate-driven and not necessarily profit-driven. And so if we even make losses in the discharge of our mandate, we'll be very happy to concede that and to show how that loss came about and the benefits of that loss, if any. And so nobody is shying away from losses. Facts are sacrosanct. The Gold Board is barely 8 months old. Per Section 76 of the Gold Board Act, it took over the assets, liabilities, contracts of the defunct Precious Minerals Marketing Company. So for the first year that the Gold Board has been in operation, our financials are available. We have not made losses. We have rather made surpluses. And we have published our financials as required by law, our quarterly financials on our website. Anybody can go and check. So the IMF has not said the Gold Board has made losses. And it is important that we put that matter to rest. The Gold Board has not made losses. And if the Gold Board makes a loss, the Gold Board will not shy away from that. The reason why the lawmaker in drafting the Gold Board Act did not use the word profits and loss is because that is not the main object. You understand? And so why would we even shy away from that if we've made losses? We have made surpluses, and latest by February or March next year, when external auditors audit our books, decision is being made that the Bank of Ghana is making losses, and the Bank of Ghana is shying away from the losses. The Bank of Ghana says that the statement put out by the IMF that in their country reports that it made $240 million from January to September of this year under the Good for Reserve program is speculative. It means the Bank of Ghana is shying away from losses. That is not true. What the Bank of Ghana is saying is this. I have been in meetings with the Bank of Ghana and the IMF, in which the Bank of Ghana has told the IMF that there are issues of accounting and financial reporting surrounding the Good for Reserve program.
Sammy Jemfi is the Chief Executive Officer of Gold Board. Away from that, Executive Director of the Global Info Analytics, Musa Dankwa, says their latest survey shows that the upcoming presidential primaries of the New Patriotic Party will be closer than what happened in 2023. In the MPP 2023 primaries, Dr. Bawumia won by a convincing margin, getting 61.47% of the vote. His closest rival, Kennedy Ahine Japan, got 37.4% of the vote.
Voters. These people are like to show up on election day to vote. Those who said they are voting for Bawumia 45%, they will show up. Those who said Kennedy 31%, they will show up. Those who are saying Brian 3% will show up. Those who are saying it was 0.4 or so for this gentleman, they will show up.
I mean, Dr. Yao said...
Yeah, it's 0.4, but we didn't want to run out the numbers.
So yeah, I was looking at 0%. That's...
We've put out the further details that gives the entire or specific numbers, frequency, and the perfect.
They have been going around the country. They have their billboards around.
The numbers are quite negligible. That's why it is like that.
Kennedy Japan, you also put 0% there. Why?
I don't put. That's the response we got from the delegates.
Really?
Yes.
So this is a delegate poll?
Delegate polls, yes.
You spoke to this number of delegates, 3,521.
Yes. Absolutely.
How representative is this? Taking into consideration the total number of delegates who are going to show up on the day, all things being equal, that's January 31.
Alfred, when you are sick and you go to the hospital, and they want to see if you have malaria or whatever it is, they draw a small, tiny blood from you. It's a sample, call it sample, isn't it?
Right.
And from that sample, they can determine what's wrong with you.
Okay.
They don't need to take the entire blood system to check what is wrong with you. Because the blood they've taken comes from the entire system.
Right.
Again, if you prepare a soup and the soup is ready to be eaten, you don't take a big bowl to drink to see how the soup tastes. A teaspoon will be sufficient to tell you how the food. So this is a statistical tool that has been used over centuries and that works. For me, what people should be asking for is what is your confidence level and your margin of error. That is where the attention must go to, and not the absolute numbers that they are looking for.
You say you are 99% confident.
Yeah, that if the thing was held today.
If election, this MPP presidential primary was held today,
yeah,
this would be
subject to this undecided and undisclosed. The question is, realistically, how many of these undisclosed will vote for either of these candidates? It's for you to determine if we are doing predictions. We are not there yet. So we've let the numbers out there. And then be able to realistically say, okay, those who are undecided, how would they vote? How would the split happen? Then you make that decision based on the modeling of certain answers you got from the other earlier questions. So we would get to that point in the final poll, which is in January. Then we can model the outcome based on what we understand the race to be.
I see.
On favorability rating, Bawumia is 92% overall.
Overall?
Plus
92%
favorable rating. Ken is 85.
92, 85.
85. That tells you that somebody is in the lead based on favorability rating.
Right. I see, but 92, 85 is close. It's not, but then again,
that's why the election will be closer than last time.
Well, let's know what you make of the upcoming MPP primaries, slated for January next year. We are active on Facebook as TV3 Ghana. Engage us with your comments, observations, and opinions. Hopefully, read them and share them to the rest of the world. Former lawmaker for Asante Akim North, Kwame Andy Apia Kubi, says Dr. Brene Champon will really show up in the upcoming presidential primaries of the New Patriotic Party. Speaking on the key point, he noted that with 1 month to go to the internal polls, the dynamics can change in favor of Brian Ichampon.
The incumbency disadvantage is there.
True.
I hope you get
Yes, I get it.
Because you cannot come from an administration that is perceived not to have done well and want to exonerate yourself from all wrongdoing. No, you can't do that. So the baggage will still be with you. And I'm sure that the delegates are mindful of that, because at the last primaries, we're looking at 60, 65 numbers. Now we're talking 43. So it means that something has happened. And 1 month of political time is not easy time. So I'm sure that something drastic can happen and the dynamics might change.
And you say you see a surprise candidate?
I see a surprise candidate because most of the people who cannot disclose and most of the people who are undecided, I am very sure that those who are not disclosing, because I am from Dr. Brian Champon's camp, and I'm sure based on our profiling, which is not the results of the survey, I'm sure most of the undecided are with Dr. Brian Champon. So let's assume that he comes second or third.
Yeah.
He will become the decider. Either he himself will decide for, or he will indicate where the voice will go.
The Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, ICU Ghana, is calling on government and employers to do more to improve the living and working conditions of Ghanaian workers in the coming year. In his 2025 Christmas message to workers across the country, the union praised workers for their resilience and sacrifices, describing their efforts as crucial to Ghana's economic recovery.
The General Secretary of the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, ICU, Morgan Ayawini, said that despite the challenges, workers have remained committed to national development. He assured members that the ICU would continue to protect workers' interests, particularly in the areas of fair wages and conditions of service, while acknowledging some economic improvements in 2025, including relative exchange rate stability, single-digit inflation, and reduced interest rates. The ICU General Secretary noted that these gains have not yet improved the living standards of most workers. He observed that the high cost of food, rent, and utilities remain beyond the reach of the average worker. He urged workers not to lose hope but to continue working hard in 2026 to help consolidate the modest economic gains made so far. He also commended the government for fully recapitalizing the National Investment Bank and called for urgent support for textile companies and cocoa board to revive their operations. In the related developments, the General Secretary of the Teachers and Educational Workers Union, King James Azotiba, emphasized the need for government to roll out measures to support workers.
The year with its challenges also had enabled us to sign the condition of service of the Ghana Education Service finally, and then we had what we were asking for, the continuous professional development and skills allowance, upgraded from 1,200 to 2,400 effective January 2026, and other conditions of service issues that were amended, all been signed for the Ghana Education Service.
Meanwhile, the Deputy General Secretary of the Health Services Workers Union, Patricia Cheneboa, called on duty bearers to improve economic gains to stabilize the lives of workers.
Members of the HSWU, as well as the general public, began the year with much anticipated hope that it shall be well with workers and all Ghanaians in the year 2025. But we did not see it like that. We still wish to appreciate all members for your resilience, patience, and the support given to the leadership.
The Trades Union Congress, TUC, says it will resist any attempt by government to hire a transaction advisor to oversee the selection of private sector concessionaires for electricity distribution. This comes after the International Monetary Fund, IMF, in its latest report, noted that the Electricity Company of Ghana, ECG, is expected to be taken over by a private sector operator. Deputy Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, Dr. Kwabena Nyakuo, spoke with TV3.
This is both POO and the TUC.
Right.
And we are very disappointed to hear this news from the IMF. Because at the beginning of this year, this conversation came up. And government termed it private sector participation in the downstream sector of the energy sector. And government termed it as a private sector participation. We insisted that this is privatization, given another name. But government assured us that it was doing this because of the energy sector debt and the fact that ECG is not performing. It's not collecting the revenues it's supposed to collect. So we sat with government, TUC, POO, ECG management, and energy ministry. We sat with government, and then we agreed on a roadmap. A couple of things to be done by the union, a couple of, in that case, workers, and a number of things to be done by government and ECG management. All of that geared towards increasing the ECG collections and making the cash waterfall mechanism work so that the IPPs will be paid on time. And government will not need to cough up money from the Ministry of Finance to pay for things that ECG must pay. So the statistics you read out bears out that the work we began with government is yielding results, tangible results. And in fact, if you look at 2026 budget, the Minister of Finance was categorical that ECG collections have risen by over 90%. So if what we agreed with government is working, and that ECG is collecting and the IPPs are paying, reducing government's indebtedness, we then find it very strange and surprising that IMF will come up with this statement. Of course, it's a statement you can also see coming from government itself. To continue the engagement with the workers, with the ECG, is to ensure that we carry out the agreement to its logical conclusion. Because at the end of the day, what we have been preaching to Ghanaians is that ECG is not performing. And the key benchmark for that non-performance is their collections. And the fact that those we buy power for are not being paid even though we have sold the electricity, would then necessitate that government finds money to pay them. Now, if you look at the statistics you yourself read, it is clear. And I serve on the PRC board. From the information we have, ECG collections have increased tremendously. In fact, the budget confirms it. 90% increment in the last 11 months. And the IPPs have been paid. So what is there to be fixed by this privatization that the IMF is talking about?
You're watching Weekend Central here on TV3, the last Saturday edition of the month of December. We'll be back after this break. Stay with us.
In the beginning, life feels heavy. But then, hope arrives. Star 446 hash saves you in the Dewa Chop Money draw at 10 a.m.
Congratulations!
In Regional Hub this afternoon, slaughterhouses or abattoirs constitute a critical unit in meat supply chain and the link between the inspected and approved safe meat and the consumer. As a measure to ensure meat safety for consumers in the greater Tamale metropolis, the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly has urged butchers to ensure safe and reliable meat supply to their customers in order to avoid meat poisoning. The Assembly, in a bid to ensure meat hygiene, has constructed an abattoir at Gulpe, a suburb of Tamale. And now let's cross over and engage my colleague, who is also the Savannah Regional Correspondent, Christopher Marco, on this very development. Christopher, thanks for joining us. We know that recently consumers of meat in Tamale raised concerns about the handling of meat, especially beef. How is this call by the Assembly helping to ensure that there's a change in the situation?
Yes, so George, I must say that over the years, meat safety has been a major concern for residents within the greater Tamale metropolis. If you go to the abattoir around Chicago, you find a lot of people working on the meat. People complain that the meat is not hygienic for their consumption. And so there has been an intense call for a proper abattoir for the slaughtering and sale of meat in the greater Tamale metropolis. The Tamale Metropolitan Assembly took this into consideration, and as we speak, an abattoir has been constructed around Bupela, a suburb of Tamale, such that meat safety will be enhanced and the slaughterhouse as well will be a safe place for them to be able to process this meat for the market. And so with the construction of this abattoir, residents are beginning to say that a chunk of their concerns has been addressed. The only thing is that they want other places to also have befitting abattoirs for the sale and processing of meat. Let's take a listen to the concerns of some of the butchers in the greater Tamale metropolis.
At the previous time, we were having some challenges here. When there is rain, we can't sell meat here. All our customers will run away. Even some who are near to us will go far place to buy meat, say we don't have quality meat, and the place are dirty. And now we went to TV3 and appealed for sponsorship. And now our big brother, Alhaji Mohammed, former BNI boss, came to our rescue, do this thing for us. It helped us a lot. Now we have new customers. Even doctors from TTH are now buying meat here because of the neatness, and then everything is going well here. We have a slaughtering house, which is nice, selling point, which is nice. We have to raise our market very well. We do sell. Now we can't count our customers. Some are even coming from Ababu, Nuhani, Lemashegu to buy meat here because of the neatness that we have here. And also, most of our chiefs, they are always coming here to buy meat.
The provision of hygienic slaughtering and meat handling facilities is essential for safeguarding public health. As our city grows, the demand for safe, quality meat also increases. This model meat shop and abattoir will help ensure that the meat sold to households, restaurants, and markets meet the highest sanitary standards. It will also provide a more organized, respectable, and safe environment for our butchers to carry out their work. For us at the Tamale Metropolitan Assembly, this project aligns with our vision of building a modern, healthy, and economical vibrant metropolis. It supports our broader agenda of improving market infrastructure, promoting food safety, and strengthening local livelihood.
Chris, tell us about the state of slaughterhouses in the greater Tamale metropolis.
Yes, so as we speak, we have one at Kuko, one at Shishao, and this very one around Bupela. Others are under construction, but I must say that this very new one around Bupela used to be a place that people did not even want to buy meat from. But with the coming in of the Tamale Metro Assembly, this has been enhanced. The residents are hoping that in the coming year, 2026, the remaining abattoirs will be worked on so that their safety will be guaranteed when it comes to the meat that they consume in the greater Tamale metropolis.
No, if it comes to meat in Tamale, it's very cheap, especially guinea fowl. And so people in the capital want to buy and bring them to Accra. Did we experience more quantities moving to the capital this year?
Yes, obviously, George, this year we had, remember the Farmers' Day, we started with Guinea Fowl Bazaar, where a lot of people came to buy guinea fowl by pick. And as we speak, this Christmas festivity, the people in Accra, Kumasi, when they call you, whatever they ask for is for you to package guinea fowl for them. And so the sale of guinea fowl has also skyrocketed within this period. You know that the new year is just around the corner. That is where a lot of people will be buying this guinea fowl for their in-laws, for their friends, family. And so it is going to see a more increase in the sale of guinea fowl.
Thank you so much. Christopher Markum is our Savannah regional correspondent there. And now, dualization works on the busy Asokwa and Hojo Runabout Road in Kumasi has commenced. The project, when completed, is expected to ease traffic congestion on that stretch and parts of Kumasi. However, the Regional Urban Roads Transport Department says activities of roadside traders and occupants along the stretch are slowing down the pace of work.
The Asokwa Interchange and Hojo Runabout stretch of road is one of the traffic-prone areas in Kumasi. The government, under its Big Push initiative, has decided to dualize the road to reduce travel time. But work is at a slow pace due to failure by occupants to leave the area. The Ashanti Regional Director of Urban Roads, Naim Idris, says this could delay the project, which is scheduled to be completed within 8 months.
The contractor still doesn't have 100% possession of the site because there's also the issue of the garages. They have not fully moved. I believe with your intervention, they also move. Luckily, the billboards have all been cleared. So the works on site is ongoing, and it is the expectation that we will be able to finish far long before the JICA project starts and complete. The JICA project starts somewhere in July next year.
The mayor of Kumasi, Richard Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi, has issued a 10-day ultimatum to all traders and occupants operating along the road to vacate the area and allow full-scale construction works to begin.
There are some we are about to leave by 2nd of January. The others who are going to leave by the 4th of January. The intention is that we don't want the contractor to have any impediment whatsoever so that he can go according to schedule and have the project completed on time.
Some of the affected traders say they are prepared to comply with the directive in the interest of development.
It's a man so about the coming. No, I not coming. I was saying, and you mean, myself interest in tea. Send that she be a machine when be home fast 20. I was saying, a home. Not a buying idea about boy or minor.
When completed, the Asokwa and Hojo dualization project is expected to improve traffic flow, enhance road safety, and boost economic activities along the corridor.
The Offensive South Municipal Assembly has reaffirmed its commitment to prioritizing social protection programs aimed at improving the lives of vulnerable persons within the municipality. As part of the commitment, the Assembly has provided financial equipment support to persons living with disabilities to enhance their livelihoods and promote self-reliance.
41 persons living with disabilities in the Offensive South Municipality have received livelihood support aimed at improving their economic independence and enhancing the well-being of their families. The intervention is part of effort by the Assembly to empower vulnerable groups. The beneficiaries, drawn from various communities across the municipality, received both financial and equipment support to help them establish or expand their small-scale businesses.
Everybody is part of the development agenda, and we cannot drive the development agenda of the nation without this group of persons. So what we have done here is to empower them so that they can live on their own and be supportive to the economy of Ghana.
So if you want to empower them efficiently so that they'll be able to sustain themselves. So that made the committee to decide that instead of giving them 4,000 as we did last year, let's increase it to 5,000 per an individual so that they can have enough resources
The over 2 million Ghana cedi support package was funded through the municipality share of the District Assembly Common Fund. For the beneficiaries, the support comes as a major relief.
And I'm a student of Kumasi Technical University. I'm here today to receive an amount of 4,300 Ghana cedis to pay for my school fees. And I really appreciate it because it's not easy for me to pay my school fees as previously. So I thank the leaders and then the MC for giving me this opportunity to pay my school fees through the National Common Fund.
Mayor, look you so after all sleep palazzo. And I'm a demi moi a buy and no more who says that the many non fan question
The Livelihood Support Program forms part of government's broader agenda to promote inclusion and ensure that persons living with disabilities are empowered to contribute meaningfully to local and national development.
In more news this afternoon, a professor at the University of Ghana Business School, Godfred Bockman, says the chances of the new Patriotic Party in the 2028 general elections will depend on how the current National Democratic Congress administration manages the economy.
The survey CDD does.
The Afrobarometer.
Yes, Afrobarometer consistently put the economy more or less at the forefront. And so far, if you look at this year, the economy has not responded optimally when it comes to job creation. We've made some progress and all of that, but we are not in the zone where the economy is delivering sufficient jobs, decent jobs, especially in the formal wage economy. Unemployment is still a big issue, even though the latest release indicate that it is marginally and all of that. So the economy will continue to dominate. It's not only Ghana. We have a youthful population. Between now and 2030 or 2040, our population will be 45 million. 30% of that population will be less than 30 years. They probably would have finished free senior high school, half-baked, enter the universities, and will be looking for jobs that probably exist in the textbooks and all of that. So those are the issues that will be confronted. If you look at the data, the World Bank told us that between 2012 and 2023, this economy on net basis has created just around 250,000 jobs. Within that same space, 2.7 million Ghanaians have entered the labor market annually. Close to 500,000 Ghanaians enter the labor market annually. So the economy will continue to dominate, especially when we are talking about job-rich growth. So for Ghana, and that is the reason why we should be careful when we celebrate GDP growth. Okay, we have moved beyond that.
GDP.
We are looking for job-rich growth. We are looking for inclusive growth because we are sitting on a time bomb. Okay. In fact, it's the reason why you see a lot of countries have moved beyond glorifying GDP. And in fact, others even call GDP as gross domestic product. Problem, not product. Gross domestic problem. Okay, so we need to understand our population demographics. We need, in fact, across the world, by 2050, we are told that 1 out of every 5 working population will be an African. Okay. Yeah. And the rest of them. So, the population so if you look at the dynamics, look, the stress is just too much.
Still on the key point, private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu has expressed the view that the new Patriotic Party cannot win the 2028 general elections. He spoke earlier on the key points.
28, I don't see MPP making any winning the elections. No, then it will suggest that we don't have human resources in Ghana. Patrick Boama for 2032, not 2028. As for 2028, let's be realistic. That thing belongs to NDC. 1.7 million votes.
How do you say that this so confident?
So let's be scientific this way. Look, with JM having gotten close to, JM gave him Baumia a gap. Baumia asked for a gap. That the only thing left with is a gap. Let's give them a gap. And of course, JM gave him a gap, a very wide gap, about 1.7 million votes. Now, if you look at our electoral cycle and the way human beings, we are pragmatic. We are not idealistic. So in 4 years, unless the NDC government loots and loots us far more than MPP looted, there's no chance that we'll vote MPP back in 4 years. No, unless the NDC loots well beyond Kennedy Apon's statement that MPP was looting like there was no tomorrow. So maybe they should be looting like there's no tomorrow to the highest degree, super looting.
Would that not be?
It's the climax of the Supreme Anchors Village partnership between Media General's radio station in Takoradi, Connect FM, and the Supreme Masqueraders Club in Takoradi. The three-day event has seen different anchors groups of showcasing their prowess in style and dance, among others. Irama Smith joins us live from the grounds.
I'm live right here at the Anchors Village, at the Supreme Anchors Village. Remember that Supreme is partnering with Connect FM for this year's Anchors Village. And so far, two masquerading groups have passed by. Talking about the Oil City and the Oshawak Wave. Next, you can see from my back is the Odoyefe. This evening, we are having about 45 masquerading groups passing through. What they are going to do is, as they are parading, when they reach in front of the stage, they will do their dance, popularly known as Achu, and also show their prowess in different ways. Each group wants to be unique. Yes, and it's a joy to be here. The excitement is great, very, very high. Second party is gathered here this evening for this program. And we have some high-profile people here. We have a member of the Council of State, the Western Regional Representative here. We also have a member of MCE. Earlier on, the Western Regional Minister passed through. We have the regional chairman for the NDC. We have the CEO for the Ghana Company and the head of corporate affairs. So many big shots around here.
What I would say is that this Masqueraders Festival has come to stay. It is a unique festival identified for Western region, and we all should come together, the media partners, corporate Ghana, corporate Western region. Let us all come together and make sure this festival lives on. It's been very good. We are all enjoying it. Apart from the fun of it, we are also making, we are having exercise, isn't it? So we urge everybody that when we say Christmas, it is the Western region of Ghana. And a togetherness near the hour,
we have been speaking to the regional manager for the Ghana Tourism Authority, who is so happy about how the festivities this Christmas have gone to so successfully.
You know, we celebrate the Sekodita Party on the back of the masqueraders. And today shows the glamours of it. Ghana Tourism Authority has been monitoring all the activities, and we want to say that a big thank you to all the media houses and to Connect. We want to again reaffirm the fact that Christmas is Sekodi Takoradi.
Is approaching the stage, and you can feel the excitement. Just take a look at them as they come, waving their flags, waving what we call the bodia, and then dancing in a unique style. This is how we celebrate Christmas.
Let's move to the capital. A Guinness World Record cookathon contender, Chef Falaitu Abdul Razak, has urged Ghanaians to continuously show their kindness, love and goodwill to prison inmates, especially during festive seasons. According to her, spreading goodwill and reinforcing the importance of rehabilitation and hope among inmates is crucial for their reintegration into the community.
The Christmas Behind Bars project by Chef Faila aims to share kindness, love, compassion and helping the vulnerable in society, especially the incarcerated. The maiden edition took the team to the Tamale Central prisons, where the inmates were treated with different kinds of meals. In all, about 300 inmates were fed. Addressing the gathering, Chef Failatu reminded the inmates that the world still remembers them and urged them to focus on rehabilitation and redevelopment.
Not by my might, it's not by my power, it's not by my resources, it's not by my strength. I feel that the belief all have in empathy, the belief we have in humanity, the belief we have in sympathy is the reason we are gathered here this morning. And we believe that this initiative is an initiative to create awareness to every single Ghanaian, every single African, every human being in the world, that our brothers and sisters should not be neglected, they should not be abandoned, they should not be left to rot behind the walls.
Member of Parliament for Tamale Central constituency, Professor Ali Dusedu, applauded Shafaila for her kind gesture.
Her ingenuity, her innovativeness, and her love for people, especially the downtrodden in society, has manifested throughout her work. We are very grateful to you, Chef Fela, and I promise you that I'm going to work with her, and this is not just going to be the beginning, it's now going to be institutionalized.
For his part, Deputy Director of Prisons, Obed Kofi Akwe, expressed gratitude to Chef Fela and her team for their kind gesture.
It is our honest desire that this occasion brings joy and serves as a key reminder of the value of compassion.
We are a few days away from ending the year 2025. It's safe to wish you the very best in all endeavors as we gear up to usher into the year 2026 in grand style. Posha Gabo and Koshia Meko are my producers. For more news updates, just log on to our website, is 3news.com. Alternatively, join my colleagues, Grace Amwajiman and Cosbiana at 7 on News 360. Thanks for watching. It's always a pleasure coming your way. Good afternoon.